This is Voices from the Commit Crew with Katie Lively, and today we have Kinley Pittman with us. She is a 2026 grad committed to Ole Miss, and she is an infield pitcher from Corinth, Mississippi, and goes to Corinth High School. So thank you, Kinley, for being with us today. And just take us through your softball journey. When did you start playing, and when did it become a passion of yours that you wanted to pursue in college?
Yeah, thank you. I started playing when I was around 6, 7, 8. Coach pitch T-ball kind of area. Um, I mean, my parents coached me when I was younger, and they just kind of pushed me to be like, separated from kind of the people that were just playing for fun, people that were just playing around the house. I think when I was 8, I got an invitation to try out for a travel ball team, but they were a year older than me, so they were already in kid pitch, and I was a year younger than them. So I started playing with girls older than me when I was 8, and I played up in kid pitch, that kind of thing. And I ended up moving to another team after that was 2 years older than me. So they were 06s, so they actually just graduated this past year. And so I think when I first started playing travel ball and kid pitch and played up with other girls, and like when I saw that I was actually challenged with those girls and stuff like that, I think that's when I realized that I wanted to play at the next level, and I wanted to pursue the talent that I had already grown in, kind of in kid pitch and coach pitch, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you play infield and you pitch, so you got two positions. What made you pick those two positions, and did you try any else out? What kind of led you to be an infielder and a pitcher?
So of course, like when I was younger, they kind of started you out everywhere. Like I played shortstop and catch pitch, stuff like that, in the outfield, stuff like that. Pitching kind of came from a softball camp that I went to, kind of just around my house when I was younger, still playing around the house and stuff like that. And we did some pitching drills, just stuff for fun, kind of keep us occupied. And I came home that day, I was like, Mom and Dad, like, I want to pitch. Like, that's what I want to do. I was like, that was fun. So I ended up going to a pitching coach, and kind of pursuing that. So that was my main thing for a really long time. And I was just athletic enough at a really young age to be able to play the infield and stuff like that. And as I kind of progressed in my career, I realized that I was a really good hitter also. And I was a really good just infielder, had really good hands, stuff like that. So I kind of put pitching off to the side. I did infield and hitting as my primary, but I still pitch. I don't know how to explain it. I guess I just kind of I found something I was good at, and I had really good hands, had a really good reaction time in the infield, especially on the corners, and I think that really helped me out a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you pitch in your travel ball team, or is it more just like high school? Like, do you evenly pitch and play defense, or is it definitely one or the other?
For high school, I evenly pitch and play defense.
Okay.
But travel ball, we do have some like majority POs and majority girls that really just specialize in pitching. So there, I'm most of the time just play the field. I'm there if they need me, kind of thing.
Yeah. How do you balance like making sure you're staying, up to speed with your pitching, but then also hitting and defense? I feel like that's a lot to balance.
Hitting and defense has always come really naturally, like natural to me. Like I said, I've just been a really athletic type of person. So I was really, I had to work hard, a little bit harder at pitching than I did all of those things. So, when I was more of a primary pitcher, I would kind of, focus on pitching, and then I would hit and defense after, just for like 15, 20 minutes, whatever. But now that my focus has kind of shifted, I'll do like a quick little bullpen, make sure that everything feels right, make sure that I feel, good, and I hit my spots, whatever. And then I kind of focus my attention on the fielding and the hitting aspect of it.
Do you have any special meaning behind your jersey number? And a lot of people have certain meanings behind them.
So actually it's kind of a little like funny little backstory. So a girl that babysat me that my parents are really good friends with, she played for the same coaches that I started playing travel ball for. So she played for the exact same coaches that I did, but of course she's a little bit older than me. She has like a kid and a husband now. But she wore 99, and so when I came on this team, they're like, what number do you want to wear? And I was like, Olivia wore 99, I want to wear 99. So that's kind of my backstory behind that.
That is so sweet. Have you played any other sports besides softball? You said you're really athletic, so have you played anything else, or do you still play any other sports?
Okay, so last year I played volleyball. But of course it's kind of in the middle of fall season and the middle of like
Right.
recruiting season, especially this year. So I didn't get to pursue that this year. But growing up, I played a lot of tennis with my grandparents. That's what I like grew up playing at first, and I love
Yeah.
tennis. And I play a lot of pickleball now.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Of course, not like school competitively by any means, but I will. That's
Yeah.
where I go out there and play.
What is your favorite memory from playing softball? And what is your most embarrassing memory you have from playing softball?
Okay. My favorite memory. I don't want to be not cliche. Cliches may not be the word I'm looking for, but we did just recently win a national championship in California, and
Oh, awesome.
thank you. I had been looking forward to that day since I was probably 8 years old. Like,
Yeah.
I had been watching PGF Nationals on my little iPad as a kid for
Right.
years, and so when it finally like happened and like I got to experience it for the first time, it was like surreal and just so exciting. Um, a very, very awesome moment. But of course, I have a
Yeah.
lot of great moments, but that one's probably
Right.
pretty top tier. Yeah.
That is amazing. Yeah.
Okay, and then my most embarrassing softball moment. This is really funny because I still get reminded of this just about every time I see my best friend. So we were playing in Nashville, Tennessee at the Mojo Invitational actually, and this is when I played for the Birmingham Thunderbolts. I think we were
Okay.
in 12U still, and I was the last out of the game, but I was the last at bat. I hadn't got to hit that whole day, I don't think. And I was hitting, and I hit a ground ball, very hard ground ball, but I ended up tripping over my feet, like running out of the box. And when I tell you that I face planted onto like the ground. Like I didn't even move out of the box. And, everybody was laughing at me. I was the last out of the game. I was so upset. Really competitive person. So, of course, I was so mad. I couldn't even laugh at myself at that point. And then we get in the huddle after and we're talking, our coaches are talking, and one of our coaches says, when you fall down you have to get back up, and everybody started laughing at me, and I was like, oh, okay. So that was I get reminded of that a lot.
So we're gonna kind of step away from funny, lighthearted. We're gonna go a little bit deeper these next few questions.
All right.
And we really think it's important, and we were talking to Macy last week about it. Especially girls that are on the commit crew, they're committed to Power 4 schools. They're, the big dogs, right? You achieved a goal that was just something that you worked for your whole life, which is amazing. But I think that sometimes people get wrapped up in that and they forget that you're still a person and you've been through
Yeah.
hardships and you've been through hard times as well. So have you ever considered stepping away from softball, or have you ever had a moment in softball where you were like, gosh, I don't know if I still want to do this anymore?
Yes, actually, and it wasn't that long ago. So I want to say this is my second fall with Mojo. My last fall, 2024, 2022, that fall
Okay.
season. Um, it was just a really rough time for me, and it wasn't like I was playing bad, or anything like that. Like I was playing really good actually, but there was just like a loss for the love of the game and kind of a loss
Yeah.
for like the enjoyment. And I was dreading going to tournaments. I was dreading like training and stuff like that. And that's just not how you're supposed to play the game. And so I really I was going to step away from school ball completely because there was just no enjoyment behind what I was doing. And if there's no purpose behind it, there's no sense in doing it.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. How did you get through that?
I talked to my parents a lot about it. There were some really big discussions that went on just kind of about like how much I had sacrificed previously to get to my ongoing goal. Of course, now I've met the goal, but my ongoing goal to be a D1 athlete and play at a big Power 5 SEC school. Um, but I mean, there were lots of conversations like, would you rather have this than this, or are you willing to you've already sacrificed so much, are you willing to push through this much more and see the light at the end of the tunnel, or are you just ready to throw in the towel? And
Yeah.
so there were some really hard conversations there, but my parents were really understanding about it. They knew that I was struggling. They knew that I had no joy for it. They could tell. And so that really helped a lot too. They weren't what's the word I'm looking for, they didn't misunderstand, and they just took what I was saying and really understood what I was saying with it. So
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing to have parents that are willing to have those
mhm,
conversations with you, because that can make or break it for sure. You mentioned, you have to purpose behind it. If you don't purpose, there's
mhm.
no reason. So, what is your personal why? Like, what is your why when days get tough, when practices get long? Why do you play the game? And what drives you to play and stay committed, even when you have times where you're like, this sucks?
Yeah. Of course, I've re-found my love for softball. I love softball. I love playing the
Yeah.
game. I stay very occupied with it, of course. But my why kind of behind, of course, I love to win. That's another one.
Yeah.
But when people ask me that, like, Kinley, you can't say that, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
No, it's
But
good.
if I really have to think about it, I would really say that, like, this is an opportunity that a lot of people don't get to get, especially the way that I travel the country and the way that we go play and stuff like that. A lot of people don't even get to travel with their normal, like, not on sports trips, families like that. Like, they don't get to go to Colorado and California and experience all those things. And, a lot of kids don't have the opportunity to play at all. And they don't have the opportunity to do that kind of thing. And, the Lord has given me this great ability to play this sport. So why squander it and think, this is not worth it. This is not worth the training, because if I get to go and see these big things and I get to play on a big stage and I get to honor the Lord in what I'm doing, and I and have the ability, like, physically and mentally to play, that's kind of what gets me through, and that's my why.
Yeah, that's such a good why too. That's such a good reminder. With that opportunity, you have an opportunity to play at a Power Four school in the
Hmm.
SEC, which is amazing. What made you choose Ole Miss, and how does it align with your goals athletically and personally?
So, Ole Miss, I live an hour and a half from there. So
Okay.
we're same state. Like, Oxford is maybe an hour and a half from me. And I grew up going to football games there. And so, when I tell people that, like, oh, wow, you go to football games there, my granddad played football there. And so I have a really rich, my grandmother went to school there, really rich family history just there in Oxford. That's where I grew up going to football games, where I grew up going shopping, that kind of thing. And so, I've always, like, grew up going to camps there, like, my first ever softball camp was at Ole Miss. So, it's kind of a full circle moment when I, like, committed there. It was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. But
Yeah.
the new coaching staff there, Aaron, Bobby, and Jamie, all together, they want to win, and they want to create a culture that is going to push you to be the best on and off the field, one, because they care about you as a person, but also as a player, and they're going to push you to be the best player you can be. They're going to develop you in your skill. They're going to develop you in your mental game, going to make you the best player that you can be, one. And two, they want to win. They want to make it to the Women's College World Series, which has always been a personal goal of mine, to play there. They accept you for, like, who you are and who you want to be on and off the field, that kind of thing. And just really, of course, push you to be a great person off the field, and push you to remember that, academics also matters, because softball doesn't last forever. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of softball not lasting forever, what do you
mhm.
plan on studying in college? Do you have a career path in mind? What do you think you're going to do academically at Ole Miss?
So I have two different sides. One I'm leaning towards more, but just something else, on the side. I really want to do pharmacy.
Okay.
But of course that's probably going to be pretty difficult, like, playing and being in pharmacy school. So of course I'm probably going to take some pre-pharmacy classes and then kind of jump into that after softball. But if I decide not to do that, I want to do something around criminal justice or something like that, because I'm really interested in that too. So.
Yeah. So if you could have dinner with three softball players, past or present, it could be anybody, who would you choose and what would you want to talk about?
Okay. Three softball players. I would want to eat with Rachel Garcia,
Hmm.
Bree Ellis, and Jenny Finch, probably.
Yeah, yeah. What would you want to talk about with all of them?
So Rachel Garcia hit and pitched both
Yeah.
in college. So I've always admired that, of course, because I am a pitcher too. And so, I've always wanted to hit and pitch in college. And now, of course, I am kind of drifted towards hitting in
Yeah.
corners a little bit more. But it's always been a goal of mine, and I would love to, like, talk to her about how she balanced that, especially in college, because of course that's two different, like, parts of the game, and she would have to go to the actual hitting practice, actual pitching practice, and the actual practice. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Um, Bree Ellis, I would just love to talk to her, just because she just seems like the most awesome person ever, and I just admire her, and she's awesome, and I love to watch her play.
Yeah.
And I model myself after her, and the way she plays, I model myself after her. So, and then I would love to talk to Jenny Finch, just because, like, that's kind of like the ideal softball person. When you think of softball,
Mhm.
that's who you think of,
Yeah.
and it's just like, her morals are great, and she's a big, she's a big face in the softball world, obviously, and it's just I would love to talk to her about how she balanced all of that, and just kind of her experience, because of course she played a couple years before, kind of
Yeah.
how this is now, and just how softball's changed since from there
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah. Well, thank you, Kinley, for jumping on a call. I love to get to know you, and I cannot wait to get to know you more as you are part of the commit crew. And your week, when this is releasing, it'll be your week. So everyone will get to know you a little bit more. So thank you again. Good luck in your, are you playing fall season?
I am.
Yep.
Yes.
Good luck in your fall season and
Thank
then in the
you.
spring. And we will talk soon and we'll see you around for sure.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, girl.